Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Fifth Down Show, the Week 11 edition. Oh, my. A little bit of notes here. We got a lot to get into. So we get the housekeeping out the way first. Everybody, please check out the video. If you like it, hit the thumbs up. Really would appreciate if you do. If you like the video, comment on the video at the end. Let me know what you think about everything. And, like, comment, subscribe. You know the stuff you need to do. Really on the road to 2K trying to make some magic happen. So we got a bunch to get into, so shall we get into this? All right, start off with all the subscriber schools that got a victory this past week, week 10, week 11 in college football. We're talking about Ohio, Toledo, South Florida, Houston, Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, Oregon, Notre Dame, Cal, Miami, West Virginia, Delaware, East Carolina, Iowa State, Coastal Carolina, North Dakota State, Montana, UC Davis, Utah State, UNLV, and Hawaii. So now, start off with our show. We have our 5-star performers, the schools that perform exceptionally well. We've got the schools that they need to hit the gym. Either they were trailed early and they still won the game, but they trailed early and came back and won, or they were leading big and they almost let the opposing team beat them because they just ran out of gas. So we had quite a few on that one. And then also, of course, we've got the What the Blue Hells for the upsets. We had a few. All right, start off with the 5-star performers. Again, what's a 5-star performer? You won by at least 28 points, and you had an dominant offense and dominant defense. How do you do that? The yardage margin is probably the simplest tell, really, because like we had games we had like last week where beat a team by 35 points, but you only gained 15 more yards than your opponent did. Was it really that dominant? Or did you bend and not break on defense? Dominant is the margin gets bigger. So, we got our 5 performers. So our 5th place for this week is actually going to go to the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. They beat Navy 49-10. The offense, 253 yards passing, 249 yards rushing. Pretty balanced attack. 502 total yards. C.J. Carr was 13-16, 218 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Good game for him. The Notre Dame defense allowed Notre Dame's pass defense, the number one, Navy, is a pass defense was great against Navy. Navy doesn't throw the ball. 22 yards passing, 206 yards rushing, because that's what Navy does. But still, 228 total yards. The margin is 274 yards. Notre Dame's defense had 2 sacks. Did not force a turnover, but hey, that's a good win. So that gives them 5th place on the week. 4th place, we're going to UNLV. Beating Colorado State 42-10. UNLV offense, 251 yards passing, 320 yards rushing, 571 total yards. Anthony Calandria, 15-22, 251 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick, plus 4 carries for 33 yards and 2 touchdowns. It means he had 284 total yards and 4 total touchdowns. That's the performance. And Jet Thomas, 7 carries for 131 yards and a TD. The defense allowed 103 yards passing, but 189 yards rushing, 292 total yards. The margin's 279 yards. The defense had 3 sacks and a pick. Oh boy, this name I'm going to butcher. I'm apologizing ahead of time, so UNLV fans and Sir, I apologize to you if I'm saying your name right. Blessing Alo Tuiolomatu with 10 tackles on defense. Hope I got that name right. Next, and that's for 4th best performance of the week. 3rd best performance of the week. Oh my goodness, I forget number 3. There you are. 3rd best performance of the week is Utah State when they beat Nevada 51-14. Good Lord. Utah State offense, 377 yards passing, 145 yards rushing, 522 total yards. Bryson Barnes, 20-27, 288 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Good, solid there. Plus 9 carries for 40 yards. Didn't have a touchdown. So that gives them 328 total yards, and again, the 3 total touchdowns. Brady Boyd, 5 receptions for 117 yards, and 2 of those 3 passing touchdowns. So good performance offensively. Defensively, the Utah State defense, 122 yards passing, 120 yards rushing, 242 total yards. They were balanced on both sides of the ball, stopping them. The margin, 280 yards. The defense had 4 sacks, 2 picks, and a fumble recovery. Brevin Hamblin from Utah State was everywhere. 8 tackles, a sack, and a 38-yard pick 6. Just doing everything. Phenomenal performance by him, and 3rd best performance of the week going to Utah State. 2nd best, we're talking about one team I never thought I'd ever say was on this list. Akron. Yes, Akron. The Zips beat UMass, the worst team in college football. I'll get to that in a little bit. 44-10. Akron offense, 230 yards passing, 237 yards rushing. Balanced attack, 467 total yards. Jordan Gant, 28 carries for 153 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Akron defense, 92 yards passing, 77 yards rushing, 169 total yards allowed. Against an FBS opponent, that's damn good. Margin was 298 yards. Defense had a sack and 3 fumble recoveries. And Gage Summers, for Akron, 4 tackles and 2 of those 3 fumble recoveries, one of which was a 25-yard fumble return for a touchdown. So just great performance by them. And number 1, I saw the schedule and realized this was going to be number 1. The only school that played an really big-name school to play an FCS opponent this week. Ole Miss beat the Citadel 49-0. Ole Miss offense, 452 yards passing. Now, Ole Miss has done 452 rushing some games. That's their strength. But 452 yards passing, 151 yards rushing. 603 total yards. Trinidad Chambliss, 29-33, 337 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no picks. The Ole Miss defense allowed 23 yards passing, 83 yards rushing, 106 yards. The margin is 497 yards. Defense had 2 sacks, didn't force a turnover, but they never got the damn third down. I mean, it's just dominant performance by Ole Miss, and they are the 5-star team performance of the week. So now, time, get the paperwork out the way, time to hit the gym, isn't it? Oh boy. The schools that got it done, won the game, but not exactly 5-star performances here. We're talking about, first off, we're talking about Houston, who beat UCF 30-27. UCF led 24-17 at the half. Houston outscored UCF 13-3 in the second half. Connor Wagman throwing 3 picks for Houston. Sure as hell didn't help. Philip Dunham from UCF, he liked Connor Wegman because he had all 3 of Connor's picks. You threw at this guy in this guy's direction twice, then did it again and got a 3rd pick. Bad decision making on Connor Wegman. And one of those 3 interceptions was a 43-yard pick 6. Stop throwing there. Y'all got the win. You had to come back to do it, but y'all need to hit the gym. Just coaching and everything else. This is just lack of focus. I don't know what's going on here. Vanderbilt beating Auburn 45-38. Auburn is trash. Okay? And you had to go to overtime to beat Auburn. Auburn led 20-10 at the half and led 30-24 at the end of the third. I mean, Ashton Daniels threw a 23-yard TD pass to Cam Coleman, who also caught the cost the 2-point conversion with 5:27 left in the fourth to give Auburn actually the lead. And then Gale Spence caught a 4-yard TD pass from Diego Pavia to win the game for them in overtime. Here's the point here. Vanderbilt offense, 377 yards passing, 167 yards rushing, 544 total yards. Auburn, who lost, 353 yards passing, 201 yards rushing, 563 yards. Vanderbilt got outgained by 19 yards and still won. You don't need to hit the gym. The defense is going to be doing something because that's not acceptable. But that's going to be a common theme here with teams that won. Army. Oh, you guys haven't had a great year, but you beat Temple 14-13. Temple led 10-7 at the half. You outscored them 7-3. Ooh, offensive performance. Offense, 26 yards passing, 221 yards rushing, 250 total yards for Army. Temple, who's not exactly known for being an offensive powerhouse, 153 yards passing, 111 yards rushing, 268. Yeah, Army, you were outgained by 18 and still won. Hit the gym, Army. Not better yet, put you out in PT for like 4 days straight. Missouri State, I think I forgot about you guys. Maybe a quiet one. Defeating Liberty 21-17. Liberty led 10-0 at the half. Missouri State outscored Liberty 21-7 in the second half. The Liberty offense I'm bringing this up because for another reason. Liberty offense, 196 yards passing, 202 yards rushing. Too many damn rushing yards given up by the Missouri State defense. 398 total yards. Missouri State's offense, 286 passing, 46 yards rushing. 46 yards? That is not acceptable. You've got to run the ball more than that. 332 total yards. You were outgained by 66 yards, and you still won. Y'all seriously got to hit the gym. This is a bunch of bend-up break defenses here. Georgia Southern beating Appalachian State 25-23. I mean, Georgia Southern led 19-3 at the half. 19-3. Final score is 25-23. So you scored 6 points in the second half, and they scored 20. Outscored 20-6 in the second half. A.J. Swan, that's from App State, threw a 16-yard TD pass to Jaden Barnes with 1:56 left to get the game cut down to 2, but they just couldn't pass it. Georgia Southern gave up 348 passing yards. Not acceptable. Not acceptable. You got to do better than that, Georgia Southern. Y'all hitting the gym, too. Oh, I think I was going to forget about you, Indiana. Beating Penn State 27-24, a team you should have boat raced out of the damn building. Led 17-7 at the half, 20-10 at the end of the third, and then Penn State scores 14 unanswered, the point of almost getting. I mean, Ethan Gruntmeyer, the redshirt freshman from Penn State, 19-yard TD pass to Nicholas Singleton to give Penn State a 24-20 lead with 6:27 left. He played one game last year. Redshirt freshman. Fernando Mendoza threw a 7-yard TD pass to Omar Cooper Jr. to give Indiana the lead for good with 36 seconds left. You had to come from behind on Penn State. This isn't the Penn State with Drew Aller. This is a different team. Gruntmeyer, like I said, I think y'all underestimated him. Or just fell asleep, or your cardio was out. You blew yourself out in the first half. Man, y'all got to hit the gym, Indiana. Kennesaw State beating New Mexico State 24-21. Kennesaw State led 24-7 at the end of the half. It was 24-7 at the end of the third. And then New Mexico State scores 14 unanswered points in the fourth quarter. I mean, just Logan Fight threw a 2-yard TD pass to Donovan Faupel, I think with 5:28 left to cut the lead 3. Couldn't do anything with it from there. Again, another team that ran out of gas. Y'all got to get some cardio in. Feed the legs, feed the wolf. You need to be able to do better with the cardio. Oh, Louisiana. The biggest example of this. Beating Texas State 42-39. Louisiana led 35-17 at the half, 35-20 at the end of the third. Actually, Louisiana at one point led 42-20 with 13:02 left in the fourth quarter. After Lunch Winfield, love the name, Lunch Winfield had a 3-yard TD run. And then Texas State scores 21 unanswered points. And Brad Jackson throws a 21-yard TD pass to Chris Don Jr. to cut the lead to 3. Another case of a team being outscored. Louisiana, 192 yards passing, 192 yards rushing. Exactly the same numbers. 192 passing, 192 rushing, 384 total yards. Texas State, 360 yards passing. That pass defense is trash. What the hell? 88 yards rushing. 168 yards rushing. Excuse me, I wrote that wrong. 168 yards rushing, 528 total yards. Louisiana, you were outgained by 144 yards, and you somehow won this damn thing. This is a bit concerning, but then again, Louisiana's not exactly a great team this year, so them being boat raced out, Oh, now that's the end, I believe, of all my hit the gyms. Now we start with the whopping 2 pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games of what the blue hell. Upsets. Memphis, all you had to do is just do your job the rest of the year, and you got a guaranteed spot in the CFP pretty much. Well, and when Tulane beats you 38-32, I mean, this technically would also qualify as hit the gym for Tulane because Tulane led 35-17 at the half and 38-17 at the end of the third. Y'all were up big, and then Memphis outscores you 15-0 in the fourth quarter. I mean, Brandon Lewis threw a 25-yard TD pass to. I'll write this down for. Brady Cluse to cut the lead to 6 points with 6:04 remaining in the game. They just could not do anything with it. Tulane's defense gave up a lot in the end. They did have 6 sacks, so at least they did something there. With 2 conference losses, does this take Memphis out of the American title game picture? Y'all let me know about that in the comments. Wake Forest beats Virginia 16-9. Wake Forest is now 6-3, bowl eligible. Virginia's 8-2 now with their second loss on the year. Virginia has been, they called them the cardiac Cavs, playing with fire. They got burned. I want you to just imagine this scenario. I wrote this down. And I forgot I wrote it down. Put yourselves 5 years ago. Put yourselves 5 years ago. So we're talking 2020, 2021 season. Thereabout, you know what we're talking about there? And imagine this. Wake Forest becomes bowl eligible with 3 games remaining in the season and knocks Virginia their second loss and knocks them possibly out of first place in the ACC championship game picture, with Florida State and Clemson both having 5 losses. People will be asking you, what are you smoking, and do you have any of it left? College football, right? This was a battle of field goals. The only touchdown that was scored in this game was on special teams. Carlos Hernandez and Wake Forest, an 88-yard punt return touchdown. The rest of the scoring was field goals, 3 from each team. Virginia's offense, 164 yards passing, 163 yards rushing. 325 total yards. Wake Forest offense, 64 yards passing, 139 rushing, 203 yards. You had 122 more yards than your opponent, and you still lost. Couldn't even score an offensive touchdown. I said it didn't to say with Memphis because Tulane and Memphis is close, but those are what the hell, Virginia, Blue Hell, Virginia, because that was bad. Oh, Louisville, you forget to show up when you played Cal because you lost 29-26 in overtime. Cal led 17-13 at the half and 23-20 at the end of the third. Always scoring in the fourth quarter was a 39-yard field goal by Louisville. Just what the hell? I think it's Cooper Renover. I hope I say his name. Man, I wrote it down. I've been 39-yard field goal to kick the game in overtime and kicked a 49-yard field goal to give Louisville the lead in overtime. And I'm not going to say Jason Kouawe, so I call him JKS. Hit a 2-yard TD pass to Jacob DeJesus to win the game. Louisville has done well when the offense has been flowing. Miller Moss, the USC transplant who became Louisville's starting quarterback, did not throw a touchdown pass in this game. Not one touchdown pass. What the blue hell, Louisville. Washington, you finally got ranked top 25, and then you get beat by Wisconsin? 13-10. Washington led 10-3 at the half, and that means, of course, you're outscored 10-0. There was 10 points were scored in the third. There was no scoring in the fourth quarter. None. I mean, Washington, Nathan Vacos hit a 32-yard field goal for Wisconsin with 1:58 left in the third to give them the lead, 13-10. The Washington offense, 134 yards passing, 117 yards rushing, 251 yards. Wisconsin's almighty offense, they came back and won the game with 48 yards passing. I can't blame the pass defense of Washington. They got it done. Speaking of not blaming the defense, I'm getting... the last one pisses me off. And what the blue hell? Last one pisses me off. 48 yards passing, 157 yards rushing, 205 yards. You outgained your opponent by 46 yards and still lost. What the blue hell? And the what the blue hell of what the blue hells so far this season. What the hell happened, Oregon State? Sam Houston State, trying to battle UMass to be the toilet bowl champion of college football. They go into Corvallis and beat you. They beat you. 21-17. I have to correct that. Sam Houston State got their first win of the year, end of their 8-game losing streak. Oregon State led 17-7 at the half. Do the math, folks. Sam Houston State outscored them by 14 in the second half. And you know how they outscored them? Wasn't offensive touchdowns. Both of them were on special teams. Remember, they fired their special teams coach and brought in an interim. because we're going to coach this and not have these problems. I mean, Anthony Hankerson had a 13-yard TD run that gave Oregon State actually led 17-0 with 6:53 left in the second quarter. In the second quarter, 17-0 early in the game, and then 21 unanswered from Sam Houston State. Anthony Hankerson had a 13-yard TD run. Tim Burns Jr., 98-yard kickoff return for a touchdown to start the second half. And then Brady Henderson, a 31-yard fumble recovery touchdown with 8:21 left to give Sam Houston State the lead. Both touchdowns were on special teams. Oregon State offense had its problems. Special teams had a lot of problems. But I'm saying this right now. Normally, I would give a 5-star award to an individual. But my 5-star award for the week, even though they're on what the blue hell, is the Oregon State defense. They were the 5-star performers across the board. I'm going to the entire Oregon State defense. Here's why. Okay. Oregon State's offense, 286 yards passing, 256 yards passing, 286 passing, 108 rushing, 474 total yards. Sam Houston State's offense, 85 yards passing, 72 yards rushing. Gave up one touchdown. 157 yards. You outgained your opponent by 317 yards, and you still couldn't win. 317, and you still lost. What the blue hell, Oregon State? Like I said, the 5-star individual performance of the week, I'm actually going to give this to Oregon State's defense. Now, they gave up more yards than the Ole Miss defense. But the fact of the matter is, they were literally trying to force turnovers to get a score on defense because the offense couldn't do anything in the second half. We saw the numbers and how there were defenses that played better, but because of the situation and whatnot, not playing ahead, and then you can shut it down. This was a battle, and doing this in a battle, I'm giving the Oregon State defense. It wasn't their fault that this team lost that game. It was not Oregon State's defense fault. It was the fault of the offense and the special teams. What the blue hell, Oregon State. All right. We have a change in the channel on this show. Talking to a lawyer friend of mine who I've had to been consulting with here in Tennessee because of, I brought this up at one point, the NCAA Football 14 thing I was doing involving redoing rosters from going back to 2013, redoing things, and he's looking up NIL, and that project's had to go by the wayside, not the wayside, but on the back burner for now because there's no statute of limitations on NIL and I don't want to get sued. Told me the fact that he's watched the show and realized if I don't want to get sued by Taylor and Yellowstone and everybody else, don't mention the show anymore. Love the show, but it's like, okay, you created the Fifth Down show to be original. Don't piggyback on somebody else. Create your own. And that way other people will rip you off and we can sue them. I understand from his point of view. Okay, I understand. So, I was doing before something for 4 losses and now for 5 losses. Well, 4-loss team could possibly win a conference championship in the G5. You can be a 4-loss team win a conference championship. Are you going to win a conference with 5 losses going 7-5? Probably not. So the new category now that comes in for making fun of schools for losing is called flights canceled. Your flight to the conference championship game, your flight to the CFP, that flight's canceled. Take your ass on home. You lost. These are reserved for schools who've got 5 losses in the season, 5 or more. So who are the schools that, like if you have 4 losses, like I said, you still could possibly contend for a conference championship, especially if you had lost non-cons and then you had shortened the regular season. But 5? Doesn't normally happen. Not last year and this year, we're going to see a possibility because last year, a team with more than 5 losses, Oregon State won the Pac-12, and they already beat Washington State earlier this year, which didn't count. And now the Week 14 matchup with Oregon State, Washington State will be the Pac-12 championship. But those schools got 5 losses, so that's the exception that disproves the rule. But it's a one-time only thing with only 2 schools in the conference. So, but the following schools here now got their flights canceled in the season. Appalachian State, who lost to Georgia Southern, who already had their flights canceled. They already got their 5th loss. UTSA lost to South Florida. UCF lost to Houston. Mississippi State lost to Georgia. Marshall lost to James Madison. Arkansas State lost to Southern Miss. Temple lost to Army. Liberty lost to Missouri State. Maryland lost to Rutgers. Kansas lost to Arizona. And Florida State lost to Clemson, who also already had their flights canceled. They had 5 losses. And now, the other category due here, starting for this, will be, I didn't do it earlier in the year, and I apologize for that, announcing when it happened, but we're just starting doing things for bowl eligibility. Schools who've got it, never getting the end of the year. This actually means more for the schools who are not really possibly contending for a conference championship. Ohio got its bowl eligibility. Wake Forest, Cal, Jacksonville State, East Carolina, Arizona, Iowa State, Coastal Carolina, and last but not least, Missouri State. Your first year in FBS, and you're going to bowl game. And you got an outside shot of the Conference USA Championship game. So, damn good job, Missouri State. Damn good job. All right. Now we're talking about the cumulative top 25. I've done this before, and it's based on a point system. I don't boo. Well, I think an eye test. No, it's a cumulative ranking. We go through the polls, and then you get a points. I've done the video before about the charts on there, whatnot. You get points for when you win games based upon how you do it. You get points taken away from your score. Points get added for winning a game. Points get deducted for losing. Blowout wins count more. Blowout losses count more for negative points. I mean, the positive, like points is is 0 to 12 and 0 to 10, and losses are -2 to -12 on the scale. So, what do we have this week? Well, last week we had 64 schools, essentially 63 schools that were eligible. Now, what do I mean by 63 schools that are eligible? Well, I only give the rankings to schools with 3 losses or less. If you have 4 losses, you're out of the rankings, because I do not see right now a 4-loss team making the CFB. It might happen if we go to 16 to 24 teams, but right now it's just 3 losses or less. So, again, here's the cumulative top 25 with the next 5 afterwards. Number 1 with 52 total points in the season is Ohio State with their big win. Number 2 is Indiana with 50. Number 3 is Texas Tech with their victory over then top 5 BYU. They're now 46 points. Number 4 is Texas A&M with 44 points. Number 5 is Oregon with 38 points. Number 6, we have a 3-way tie between Alabama, Georgia, and Ole Miss with 36 points. Tied for 9th place with 32 points is BYU and Vanderbilt. 4-way tie for 11th with 28 points. Georgia Tech, Notre Dame, South Florida, and Utah. In 15th place, all by themselves with 26 points, that's Miami. In 16th place, all by themselves with 24 points, is USC. In 17th place, they still can't shake each other. They're still tied with 22 points, Oklahoma and Texas, because they both had the bye week. In 19th place, we have a 4-way tie again with 20 points, and that's Houston, James Madison, Pitt, and Virginia. And with 18 points, 3-way tie for 23rd, finish out the top 25, Cincinnati, Memphis, and North Texas. The next 5 on the polls, 2 points back, 26th place with 16 points is Tennessee. And a 4-way tie for 27th to finish the next 5 with 14 points, Arizona, Iowa, Louisville, and Michigan. Oh my, what a league here. So I'm going to go through this again real quick. I'm going to redo the top 25 without the points bit and just put what this is. I'll put this up a little bit later today. Number 1 is Ohio State. Number 2 is Indiana. Number 3, Texas Tech. 4 is Texas A&M. 5 is Oregon. 3-way tie for 6 with Alabama, Georgia, and Ole Miss, SEC spot. Tied for 9th is BYU and Vanderbilt. Tied for 11th is Georgia Tech, Notre Dame, South Florida, and Utah. Number 15 is Miami. Number 16 is USC. Tied for number 17 is Oklahoma and Texas. 4-way tie for number 19 between Houston, James Madison, Pitt, and Virginia. And a 3-way tie for number 23 between Cincinnati, Memphis, and North Texas. The next 5 out. Number 26 is Tennessee. Number 27, four-way tie, Arizona, Iowa, Louisville, and Michigan. Oh, my. All right, folks. I've done enough yapping. You should let me know about what you think about all of this down in the comments of the video. So, again, thanks, everybody, for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. More videos coming. We got a double dose of realignment. Well, not really a double dose. We got a scenario from a subscriber I'm going to bring up, which was an interesting idea of how would Conference USA react to being rated, and also a back to the snowball, plus other things happening during the week. So thanks everybody for watching. Everybody's having a great day. Be safe and please be good to each other.